Hi, my name is Mark Polton. I'm a real estate investor in the greater Charlotte, North Carolina area. I'm what you would call a no frills, no thrills real estate investor. If you're looking for somebody with a big shiny car in the background, nice studio office, or someone who wants to sell you a $19.95 a month subscription to their newsletter, I'm not that guy. Check out a different channel. I'm going to be 45 tomorrow, and I'm going to be looking for some long-term care insurance. Certainly, not not knowing what to expect. I've done some research. I've actually gotten a couple quotes. It's a pretty complex insurance policy to me. And it just seems to me that I know that most people are going to not have long term care insurance. They're probably, a lot of people are going to end up in nursing homes. They're going to end up in really crappy nursing homes. We have an assisted living facility near us. It's one of the best in the Charlotte area, maybe one of the best in the state. It's a $250,000, $250,000 just to reserve a spot. That's not anything to do with the monthly fees or anything. You do live there. It's like condo style living, or never actually been in it, but it's a gated community. I'm sure they have good technology, call buttons and stuff like that. Nurses there 24 hours a day. Um, Once again, don't know too much about it. Looking at rates, probably should have done this a long time ago. They're a little bit more expensive than I thought they would be. But I have met with some advisors, and I guess there's some whole life insurance with long-term care riders on it. Really skeptical of whole life insurance. It's not something that I think is a good deal. I actually think that most of that money can be used to buy more income-producing assets. But there is something to be said for it. I think it's called Bank on Yourself, where uh, you can become the insurance company. Clayton Morris has a great podcast on this. I'll see if I can find it and link it below. But basically, there's a cash value associated with most whole life insurance, and in which you could start to borrow from it, and then you pay yourself back interest. And the concept. I think it's called Bank on Yourself. I've heard some radio advertisements about it. Something that we might look into. Certainly not something that I would do as an investment vehicle, but there's some. I'm sure there's some interesting tax implications with it, and we'll uh, we'll see. Anyways, I still have to come back to why I do buy and hold real estate. I have to think that 40, 50, 100 properties, long-term care insurance really isn't um, a big deal. Not something that I'm really going to need. If I needed $250,000, I could probably just borrow it between two or three properties, maybe four. Tenants will pay that back. The one flaw, I guess, in this particular plan, and it is the long-term plan for my wife and I going forward, is if we become mentally incapacitated, or we have dementia, or unable to run our business, a custodian or uh, a guardian could be appointed to overlook our affairs, and they could rip us off. That's probably the one thing that is the downfall. And honestly, I probably should be doing some thinking about it now. I should probably be doing some planning for it now. I'm just not. I don't even know how to solve something like that. I've certainly read enough articles. Here's a guy in Pirates of the Caribbean, um, 21 Jump Street. I can't remember his name right now. It'll come to me. He's basically broke. He sued his lawyers, saying that they were basically his guardians of his money, or the custodians of his money, saying that they mismanaged it. You look at Macaulay Culkin. He had entrusted somebody with his money. I believe most of it was gone. There's just too many situations around where somebody famous, or somebody rich, or somebody who should be rich, entrusted their money to somebody else, and that money's gone. The person ripped them off. The person made bad deals. The person invested in pulling icebergs from the North Pole down to Africa so that there would be plenty of fresh drinking water. Just stuff like that. And there's got to be a way around it. Obviously, there's no guarantee on that. Maybe a pastor. might be able to limit that. I don't know the situation, or I don't know the solution yet. I haven't also delved into it. But then also, looking at disability insurance, I still have a W-2 job, hopefully for not too much longer, maybe 2 more years. And I've done some long-term disability insurance through my employer. Can't see where I would do that outside my employer. I guess if I had FU money, say we had $1 million rent roll, yeah, I'd probably buy, some disability insurance, or I don't even know how that would work with our business, but maybe some long-term care insurance, just as a backup or as a supplement. If it costs you $500 a month, I mean, 6 grand a year. I mean, even if it costs you 12 grand a year, if you have $1 million coming in, who cares, right? Uh, Maybe just for peace of mind. However, at this stage, we have a little over $10,000 a month rent roll. It doesn't make sense for us to do that just yet. But we're paying off homes. Hey, we're going to pay off a home next month. This is a big deal. Anyways, my wife and I aren't going to have insurance going forward once we retire in the next couple of years, and we have to be able to fund that. Um, Health insurance, unfortunately, is a necessity. I'd love to have just catastrophic, anything over 10 grand. Um, it's getting to the point now where your regular plans have a $10,000 deductible. Thanks, Obama. And I miss the days of $5 copays, and that was it. Anyways, um, we're not going to have insurance. I'm not going to have retirement, not in the traditional sense. 401k, I think, is a terrible instrument for the person who's putting the money into it. And I just don't, I think that most people aren't prepared for funding their retirement. I'm heading out now. It's 42 degrees. It's slightly sleeting here. And I'm probably going to be putting siding up in the rain. We'll see. But I'm doing this to fund my retirement. I'm doing it to fund my health care. I'm doing it to fund everything else. This is the plan going forward. Now, I imagine that we'll get into some other investments to help offset taxes. Robert Kiyosaki does oil and natural gas prospecting, I think is what it's called. When you do that, it's like 100% tax credits and not deductible, and that's how he basically pays no taxes. Any gains you get from that, I think, are tax free as well. So when we get big enough and we have enough money, $1 million rent roll, that's something we'll definitely look into and take advantage of. But that's for stage two. Anyways, these are my thoughts on long term long term care insurance, disability insurance, and do you need them or not? I'd say in the short term, you probably do until you have enough money coming in and you have enough diversification in your real estate, your buy and hold real estate portfolio to sustain, $100,000 a year medical bills if you have to. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comment section below. Be sure to answer them if I can. And I hope you go out there and live the "you won't stop me" lifestyle. I can tell you this: you're not going to stop me. It's raining / sleeting here in Charlotte. It ain't going to stop me. We're our freedom number, as Clayton Morris says, is 40 homes, probably more like 30, with the way that we're paying these suckers off. But I wish you success.